We are pleased to introduce the library's new Director of Collection Management, Deb Lambert, who comes to us from Warren, Michigan, where she served as Director of Libraries. Prior to that, for 8 years, she was in Lee County, Florida, the Fort Myers area, where she served as Director of Technologies and Collections at the Lee County Public Library. Deb joins us here in Indianapolis when there are a lot of changes in digital services which are changing the face of what the library has to offer today. And Deb, you've been on board for about 2 months. What's your initial impression of the Indianapolis Library's collection and how it may differ from other urban libraries?
Well, I've been really pleased to learn a lot about the collection by going to public forums with the CEO this month, the I Love Our Libraries tour, and I'm hearing a lot of satisfaction from our public and our patrons. And from the work I'm seeing from the staff on my team, I think that we're doing a really good job so far.
Good. It's said that we're in the midst of a digital revolution, or evolution, depending on one's viewpoint, but what about the role of books, a popular topic of debate, whether the future of books is alive and well? What's your take on that?
Well, I've learned from that tour of libraries, as well as my experience in other libraries, that we're going to have print books for a very long time. They're not going away. It's still a vast majority of our readers are using print books. But we're having a lot of new users that are using the e-devices to read e-books. So we're trying to meet both needs as we build our collection.
Well, it's interesting. Over the last few years, I've noted that the format of circulation among books has stayed around 62 to 65%. Still the predominant format of circulation, but yet we are seeing a huge increase in circulation of e-books. It almost tripled in 2012. What about that trend? Will that continue to grow?
Yeah, there was about 335,000 e-books that checked out last year, and we are on track to check over 1 million this year.
Wow.
So, but still, that's only about 3 to 6 or 7% of our circulation. So you can see that traditional books are still the primary format, but e-books are definitely growing. So we're going to try and build our collection, adjust number of copies depending on where the demand is. So we're not eliminating print books or as we grow with e-books.
Well, I think a lot of people are pleased to hear that, I for one. You have a trusty device there. We're going to show our patrons or discuss some of the new additions or changes that of services that already exist. One called Overdrive, the service that the library uses for patrons to actually download the e-books. Some new changes for Overdrive. Tell us about those.
Well, first let me say that all of the resources that we're talking about today are on our website under ebooks and audiobooks. So our viewers can go to the website and find these themselves. And the Overdrive site has been recently redesigned, so it's a much more graphical, cleaner look to it. That's one of the changes. Another change is that they've added a very simple way to check out. They've reduced the number of steps there are with checkouts. And that was a challenge before because there was a lot to checking out and downloading ebooks and audiobooks. So they've streamlined that step. And then the third big change is that they've added the ability to read ebooks through a browser. You don't have to download an app. You don't have to install a program. You could just open your browser, click, and start reading.
Good.
But otherwise, we have over 44,000 ebook titles in the collection, the Overdrive collection, plus a significant number of downloadable audiobooks in that collection. And we're seeing growth with that, like we've already discussed.
The other thing that you mentioned briefly a second ago, the music downloadables called Freegal, which is short for free and legal downloads of music. Many patrons perhaps aren't aware of this, but that's a great service that's grown in popularity too.
Right. Freegal, we added this past summer, and it's already seen a lot of use, a lot of interest in people finding the songs they need. It's a collection of over 10,000 record labels, the biggest label being Sony and all its sub-record labels, plus a lot of independent labels. And Freegal is adding even more. There are another 10,000 labels. And it allows our users to check out 3 songs per week for free, as you mentioned, free and legal, which means that you can keep the music forever, and there's no DRM, digital rights management, to block people from using it after a certain amount of time. It's free to use forever.
Good. I've used it. It's a great service, and I like to build up my oldies collection through that. Like you said, it's got a vast number of different genres and
yeah, it's
tons
got
of music.
all the, a lot of the current artists, Adele and Pink, people like that, and In addition, all the traditional classic rock, country, jazz, that type of thing. So there's a huge collection.
So Freegal and Overdrive, a couple of things that you'll find from the library's homepage, and then you'll see the different changes, as Deb mentioned with Overdrive. Once you get to that particular site, one other service we want to talk about, which is new, it's called Wowbrary, a site that alerts patrons when new materials are coming into the library. Tell us about Wowbrary.
It's a free e-newsletter that you can sign up for with your email address, and that service goes through our catalog and looks for all the new titles that we've added this week. And that allows people to place holds on them early as soon as we order them, and get on that hold list to get the new materials as soon as they come in.
Yeah, kind of get a jump on people who maybe don't have this. How do people get the alerts? How can they sign up to get the alerts actually sent to them via email?
You go to wowbrary.com and put in your email address and a password.
Okay.
And then it signs you up for that newsletter. And it's great. It's broken up by genre and format and authors. There's a lot of ways that you can drill down and get your favorite things from the library.
Okay. Well, welcome aboard again, Deb Lambert, the new Director of Collection Management here at the library. And again, you can find any of these services from the library's homepage. Just go to ndpl.org. Deb is always available. She mentioned she's touring the various libraries with CEO Jackie Neas for the next month or so. And welcome aboard and best of luck to you.
Thank you, John.